Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. So today's not one of my usual recap videos. I wanted to make this video because after last night, which I think we could all agree was epic, I've seen a lot of hate thrown toward Wendell's way, and I don't know what kind of hate, or I shouldn't say hate, but like what negative messages he's getting or what. I haven't personally seen any, but all I know from like the Survivor community is that he's getting a lot of angry fans sending him pretty awful messages. The thing of it is, we're only viewers of the show, so we don't see everything that goes on that island. We each like different different castaways out there. We're not all gonna like the same person, but I know for a fact Wendell is a very nice and awesome guy. He really does enjoy talking to Survivor fans. I know that from experience. From what I got, he's very grateful of his time on Survivor, and he really loves to see how enthusiastic the fans are about the game, which I'm sure he is and was at one point too, because all these castaways were like us at one point. We're all fans, and I think it makes him feel really good to see that we get, like, when he hears or sees like stuff like Team Wendell, or sends him positive messages, or like hears from fans that, hey, you inspired me because, like, and the thing of it is, we're not always gonna agree with moves somebody makes. I personally didn't like last season when Molly got voted off second. I thought she could have went farther. Did I necessarily like the move? No. But I wasn't sending cast members hateful messages because it's only a game. And I think people forget that this is only a show. This is a game to them out there. And I definitely have to respect Wendell for telling it like it is. I think that might be why he's getting a lot of negative feedback, is because he was telling people like it is. And from, again, we're only viewers, but from what I watched last night, you guys can agree or disagree. To me, it seemed like, yes, Wendell was being honest. He seemed like he wanted to stick with his alliance, but at the same time was open to offers. So which I could maybe see why this is debatable, him going to Parvati to try to make a deal. I mean, that's like trying to make a deal with Cobra. But he's trying to, see what could better his game. And he wanted to make an offer, and they were both at a standstill. And when we got the tribal council, we saw that the offer was still available, still on the table, but Parvati wanted him to say a name. And I think it was very smart of Wendell not to say a name, because if he says Nick, for example, just for conversation's sake, then Nick's isn't gonna be in his alliance anymore. He's gonna be target number one. Like, it would be a different story if Wendell whispered who he wanted to who he would have voted out to Parvati. But it seemed like Parvati was trying to put Wendell on the spot, so it would make him look bad, but also make him look like a bigger target than he already is. So I think that Wendell was definitely trying to make offers, but nobody was willing to work with him. So you can't really blame them when he's trying to make deals and it's like talking to a brick wall. And like I said, we're not all gonna like the same people, but Wendell doesn't deserve the hate thrown his way. He's really awesome. I'm a fan of his game. I loved him on Ghost Island. He's one of my favorite winners, and I'm I'm always gonna be Team Wendell. Do I agree with some of the moves he makes sometimes? Not necessarily, but and I'll be open about that. On my recaps, if I don't like a move somebody makes, I will say that, but I'm not gonna send them hate. That's like, I know, to get off topic a little bit, but kind of the same thing. I know Adam gets a lot of hate because I remember during his season, people said that he won because he got sympathy votes. And what Adam went through was horrible. Like, I can't even imagine being out there and having that in the back of your mind that your mom's sick at home. But then that only gave him the more motivation to get out there and, you know, play for his mom. And I think it's very disrespectful because, like I mentioned before, it's one thing, you know, to have a different opinion on someone, but to, like, bring their... I thought it was disrespectful for them to bring his mom into the equation. Like, and we even learned that the jury didn't even know about his mom, with the exception of Jay. So that wasn't a factor. He genuinely did play the better game, and it does say something when he won and got every jury vote. And the same thing with Michelle. Now, Michelle, I definitely think she's playing a better game this season. Like, or I should say, I respect her game more this season. When her season was on Go Wrong, I was a big Aubrey fan. I definitely think that, in my opinion, Aubrey should have won Go Wrong. But I definitely don't think Michelle deserves the hate that's thrown her way. Like, she can't even... Like, just imagine it. Like, she can't even enjoy the fact that she won Survivor because she believes that... people are telling us that she didn't deserve it. She didn't earn it. What else is something they said? Or that it was a bitter jury. Now, that I might agree to an extent. I think with the new final tribal council format is a bit better, because then people can have an open discussion, whereas one person asks a question and you don't necessarily know all the moves that people make. So to that extent, I agree that there might have been a bitter jury, but I definitely don't think, like, I just think it's horrible that Michelle can't even enjoy the fact that she won. So she has a lot to prove to herself and everyone this season to show that she did deserve not only that win, but this win if she happens to win. So, they're all human, guys. They're on the show that we all know and love. We all put them up here because, you know, let's be honest, they're awesome. But we all have to remember that they're human just like us. They make mistakes. Survivor is a totally different universe than we're in. To a degree, we have no right to complain or argue because we're not out there. We don't know what's going on out there. We only get about an hour, sometimes 2 hours each week of what's going on, and a lot of that is edited. Like, think about it. They take 24 hours of footage, but they have to somehow edit that and make it into an hour. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't see, and people have the right to their own opinions. You know, I agree with that, but don't send hate their way. That's just uncalled for. They don't deserve it. Like, I know recently I've seen a lot of far right religious nuts sending hate to Elaine, and who the hell hates Elaine? She's freaking awesome. Now, Island of the Idols is probably my least favorite season. However, I did like Elaine. Her and Janet were probably my favorites from that season. I I wasn't sure about her at first, but then as soon as she opened her mouth, I'm like, oh my god, I freaking love Elaine. Like, I don't even remember what she was having a conversation about. She was having a conversation about, I guess, some breakfast item that Missy or Elizabeth, I think, eats. And just, oh, that's some city shit right there. I'm like, I can't. And it just showed that she was very likable and she had a very good social game. Like, could relate to everybody and was able to build those relationships. And I think that's ultimately why she got voted out at the end. Not because she was hated, but because she was very well liked. And you put Elaine in the final 3, she definitely has a shot to win. And she's getting lots of hateful messages she doesn't need. They're very homophobic messages, and I think it draws the line. Like, you could send a message to somebody and say, hey, I don't like that move you did, whatever, but that's when it crosses a line, when you send homophobic stuff. Like, somebody was sending her Bible verses, and it's just like, they don't deserve that. It's ridiculous. Like, it's a show. It's a game. And they definitely deserve to be treated with respect from us. I think we owe that much to them. So, well, this was actually supposed to be about Wendell, but it actually ended up being about other castaways in general. So, I guess the overall message of my video is just be kind, respectful. If you don't agree with what they say, or you feel mad about a certain move they made, like, if it's not like too negative to the point where you're disrespecting them, then okay, like, it's like I said, if you're saying like, hey, I don't like that move you made last night, like, that's almost okay, because like, not everybody's gonna agree with the moves they make, but to say like, oh, they're a bad person, this and that, I can't stand him, that's a totally other thing. And sometimes I even admit, sometimes I could have maybe even said that once a couple times when I got frustrated, because we're all in the heat of the moment. So if I ever said that to anyone, I truly apologize. I always try to live by the golden rule, do unto others. And I think that other people should go by the rule. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Ooh, I think Thumper from Bambi actually says that, yes. And to the castaways getting all the hate, you don't deserve it. You guys are awesome. It's not worth the time and energy to argue with stupid. Just block them. You don't need this in your life. I think you're awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I hope you guys are enjoying Winners at War. I think it's a freaking awesome season so far. Probably one of the best ones I've seen in a while. And until next time, stay regal.